Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Studying Abroad with Maces. Today, we have with us one of our wonderful Japanese university partners, which is International College of Liberal Arts, which is part of Daniel. I'm going to let you say it.
Yamanashi Gakuin University.
Yamanashi. I didn't want to, slaughter the good name of Yamanashi. So I have with us Mr. Daniel Guys, and I also have with us Mahfuz, right?
Sorry, you can call me Alam.
Alam, yes, Alam, who's a Bangladeshi student who's working with iCLA as their Bangladeshi representative. And from our team, we also have Maksuda Hassan.
Hi.
For our
Hello,
Japanese
Daniel,
application.
and hi, Alom.
Hello.
So, Maksuda has been looking after the Japanese portfolio from our country. And right now we've been keeping pretty busy because on an average, we're sending more than 150 students to Japan per year. So it's quite a few students to look at after. So Maksuda does it very well. And she's also branch manager for Dharmadi. So hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Very well, thank you.
So the way we do this is that in the beginning, Daniel, you're going to give us a presentation of the university. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of questions. And then hopefully, Alom and you and our team can answer, especially if there are questions related to visa and stuff, we can answer. And then if there are questions related to scholarships and, entry requirements, you can answer. So you want to share the screen, Daniel?
Sure. Let's go for it. Okay. This is a very different system.
So you can while you're here we go. You've got it already. So here we go.
Okay, cool. So thanks everyone. So I'll just give you like a quick sort of 10-15 minute sort of overview of iCLA, and then we can get into your questions. My name is Daniel Guys, marketing officer for iCLA. We are a department of Yamanashi Gakuin University. We have about 300 students in our program. There's about 4,000 students at YGU in total. We are a liberal arts college. I'll get into what that means specifically a bit later. But in short, we have 4 majors here. It's global business and economics, political science, interdisciplinary art, and Japan studies, with a whole bunch of subject areas and electives you can take on top of that as well. And I know we're in Japan, but you don't need to speak any Japanese. It's all taught in English. So without further ado, let's go. You guys probably have a real interest in Japan, but in short, why you should study here comes down to a number of factors. One is the high quality of education that's on offer here. You will earn a degree over those 4 years that is internationally recognized, that you can take anywhere, that leads to a real variety of careers. Japan is a very affordable destination. Big reason for that is that domestic students and international students pay the same fees. So unlike my home country, Australia, the US, UK, you're not paying a multiple of what a domestic student would pay. You're paying the same. And with us, we're a little bit outside of Tokyo. Once you get outside those big cities, cost of living gets a lot cheaper. Food gets a lot cheaper. Housing gets a lot cheaper. Transport needs go down, etc. So it's a very affordable destination. Japan is also very safe. We have very low crime rate here. No problems with drugs, really. And yes, we have typhoons and earthquakes, but we have very high building standards. So loss of life from these things pretty rare. So it's a very, very safe country. I think most people recognize Japan as one of the safest countries in the world. Now, next point might be particularly interesting to you because you might say, well, I can get a degree here, but can I get a job? And the answer is yes, and my colleague Alan will talk about that a little bit later. But Japan remains number 3 economy in the world, with links to many countries. It's active in many countries around the world. And to maintain that, they need people who speak Japanese and, a second or a third language. So internationalization is a big thing in Japan. Also because the population is decreasing and aging quite rapidly. So there's lots of job opportunities here. And has a very favorable immigration policy as well. But most importantly, it's just an amazing place to live. The way that they balance the natural and the built environment, the ancient and the modern, continues to delight and surprise many, including myself. This photo actually taken about 30 minutes drive away from our campus, a very famous area, Chiroto Pagoda. The food is great, the people are amazing. You've got access to these mega cities like Tokyo, just hubs for music, art, culture, theatre, you name it. But then also, these really quiet places as well, sort of places of reflection, sometimes even nestled between skyscrapers, would you believe? And you get to access it all and you get to experience it all here at iCLA. So liberal arts, I said this is a little bit different to some other university courses. Number 1, small class sizes, 10 to 15 students. So a lot of one-on-one interaction between you and the teaching staff. A lot of sharing of ideas between you and your fellow classmates and the professors. But also, you do not choose your major until the end of your first year. That makes it very different. You have a common curriculum in the first year. It's quite broad. You take pathway courses from each of the majors. That sets you up to make a more informed decision about the major that you actually want to study. So it's very interdisciplinary. You can continue to take electives from outside of your major the whole way through the course. It's encouraged, in fact, up to 40% of your credits can come from outside of your major. So you've got a lot of freedom here to try different things. We're teaching you how to be critical, creative, independent, and globally minded thinker. This leads to, high employability because you've got technical skills from your major, but also you develop a lot of soft skills through the discussion-based lecture courses that we have. So if you want a job for the future, I think liberal arts is one way to go about it. iCLA is located in Kofu. It's the capital of Yamanashi Prefecture. We're about 90 minutes from Tokyo. Once they finish the maglev train, that'll be down to 25 minutes, which I'm looking forward to. But we're the home of Mount Fuji. So you have a lot of these famous sort of views of Fuji in the Five Lakes area. Really great theme park, Fuji Q Highlands down the road. It's very popular with people as a sort of getaway from Tokyo, a bit of a tree change. We have a really mild...
Daniel, sorry to interrupt you, but on the screen, what we're seeing is only the quick poll, so the first slide. So, maybe if you can reshare, I think maybe you've moved on with your presentation. So I was thinking that maybe you're covering that, but actually you've moved on.
No.
So maybe you could reshare it.
Let's try again. Okay. That should be... Okay, interesting. Are we now looking at cherry blossoms? Ruham, are we now looking at cherry blossoms?
Yes, we are looking at cherry blossoms now.
Excellent. Okay, sorry. So anyway, yes, to continue, I was just saying we have some great views of Mount Fuji around here, but anyway, weather-wise, we have a very mild spring and autumn, which we're currently having now, hot summer, and a bit of snow in the winter. Highest number of sunny days in all of Japan here in Kofu. I'll tell you a little bit about YGU. We are a private, not-for-profit university founded after the Second World War. We have about 4,000 students here. We're quite famous in Japan for the number of Olympians that have graduated from our university. There are other colleges which are taught in Japanese, like law, business, health, nutrition, sports science, and iCLA is taught in English. We have a postgrad school again that's taught in Japanese. So we really say we don't really have a postgrad option for students in English. Anyway, iCLA is one of the newer colleges of Yamanashi Gakuen University. We offer a Bachelor of International Liberal Arts. It's a 4-year degree taught in English. 60% of our students come from outside of Japan. They come from all over the world, including quite a few from Bangladesh. So you'll be right at home there. And you have great access to the faculty. So, 5 students for every 1 professor. So you get a lot of one-on-one time with them. And again, it's taught in English. You don't need to speak any Japanese. Our English requirement is that you have IELTS 6.0 or equivalent. Let's talk about the majors. There are 4 that you choose from. You declare this at the end of your first year. So we have global business and economics, political science, interdisciplinary art, and Japan studies. As I said before, up to 40% of your electives, of your credits can come from outside of your major. They can come from the other major areas or from our subject areas like data science, psychology and sociology, quantitative reasoning and natural sciences, so maths, programming, etc., earth science. And also have a number of workshops in martial arts that you can take. We also have a lot of artistic workshops, which we'll talk about in a minute. We have a Japanese language program, and we also have a great study abroad opportunity for you as well. There are other universities in Japan that can teach you a degree in English. They'll also teach you Japanese or try. iCLA has a particular focus on helping you learn about Japanese culture as well, which is very important if you want to work here long term. We can teach you Japanese art forms, get you a much deeper appreciation of the culture that you're entering. So you can study things like anime, manga, flower arranging. You can learn martial arts here. You can take calligraphy classes. You can learn the Japanese tea ceremony. You can learn about samurai culture. You might even be able to take part in the Shingenko Matsuri, which is pretty cool. You can learn a Japanese musical instrument like the koto or the shakuhachi as well. There are many different workshops for you to try out. They're very popular with our students, as I'm sure you can imagine. Our language program is designed to take you from complete to beginner up to advanced level if you want to go that far. We can support you to get higher levels of the JLPT, which is good for finding jobs in Japan. We have a study abroad option for international students, and it does not lengthen the extent of your degree. So you can go all over the world with this. Many partners in Europe, in the Americas, all through Asia, even in Africa and Australia as well. If you want to go to Perth, you could go to Curtin University. That's where I'm from. And many of these universities, a semester or a year at our partner universities is much more expensive, especially as an international student, than iCLA. But if you do the study abroad, it's at the same fees as you would pay at iCLA. Here are some views from inside our campus. You can see small class sizes. You can actually see our cafeteria there and our bamboo garden. We have a Zen garden too. There's many other facilities in the campus as well, like dojos, tatami rooms, music studios, art studios as well, and many, many study areas. There is accommodation on site, giving you the smoothest landing into Japan as possible. It's actually mandatory for all first-year students, including the Japanese students, to live in our dorms. You get your own room. You are only sharing sort of toilet and bathroom facilities with the other 8 students in your unit. There's also a cafeteria on site, serving 3 meals per day during semester, and there's a kitchen you can use for all the times in between that. If you're really lucky, this could be the view out of your dorm room window. You'd have a very nice view of Mount Fuji. If you don't get this one, there's mountains in every direction, and in winter they're especially spectacular. So it's a lovely view. In terms of student life, there are festivals, we call them matsuris, all throughout the year. There's also lots of community events, fireworks festivals the university arranges as well, cultural nights, parties, musical galas, you name it. There's always something going on campus. Even through COVID, there's been events on campus, been quite lively. There's also many sports teams you can join. You can try out for some of them. And there's also casual sporting sort of groupings you can join as well. You can see our fees on screen now. There is an enrollment fee for all students. That's standard in Japan if you want to accept the offer. And then our tuition, facility and equipment fees work out to be about $14,500 US dollars, depending on the exchange rate. And then the room, the board, so the rent in the dormitory and the meal plan work out to be about another $8,000 US dollars. You can reduce your tuition fees in particular by applying for one of our scholarships. It's very easy to apply for the scholarship. You just need to submit an extra essay as part of your application to iCLA. We have 4 tiers of that scholarship. It's mainly based on academic merit, but we also look at any extracurricular achievement that you have and your family's financial situation. We have I misspelled that, sorry. We have 2 admissions periods every year, both spring and fall. Applications for our April 2022 intake, which is spring next year, are closing on November 22nd. There's a variety of documents. MESAs can help you with all aspects of your application. They've been a great partner of ours in Bangladesh, and they are very experienced at completing our application. So they can help you with your statement of purpose, help you get your references, help you with your ideas for your scholarship essay, and help you prep for the interview as well. We also have a September intake. Applications for that are closing next year. Okay. Post-study, we help you prepare for the workforce with career design courses and internships. We help you get higher levels of the JLPT. And if you haven't found a job by the time you graduate, many students actually graduate with an offer of employment to other companies. There is a post-study visa extension, and you can extend your working visa for as many years as you want to in Japan. Our students go into a really wide variety of career opportunities, depending on which pathways they took through the major, and we're seeing some really exciting developments there from our students. Postgraduate study is also very much an option with this degree. And if you wish to make Japan your permanent home, like I have, there are points and time-based pathways to permanent residency. So it's a very welcoming country from an immigration standpoint. Thanks for your time. and I think we'll take some questions.
Awesome.
Sorry,
Thank you so much, Daniel. So, first of all, just to see if we have heard you correctly, there are 2 sessions for applications into iCLA. So there is the April session, and then there's the September session. The tuition fees are approximately $14,000, or approximately 11 or 12 lakhs. I suspect, though, the first year it's a little bit higher because of enrollment fees, which is an additional 120, 130,000 in BD Dhaka equivalent. On top of that, there are scholarships available, I guess, anywhere between 30% to 100%, based on the students' quality. And, so basically, I guess I'll answer. I mean, Bijoy, Sultana, and Sajid Khan both asked the same thing. Do you have any scholarships, and what are they? Maybe you can sort of summarize that.
Yeah. So let's head back to that. See if we can.
I tell you, the views of Mount Fuji looks pretty good. I feel like I need to visit the campus soon.
Well, hopefully, we could start letting people travel all over the world, and
that is something. I mean, the visa situation, of course, we are hoping that it would open up very quickly, but there is no indication as to when it will open up.
Yeah.
Are there any cases in your university or in the city?
From time to time, students have contracted it, but actually in Yamanashi this week, we had a few days where there were 0 cases.
Okay.
We actually had a string of days where there were 0 cases. So what you're seeing now is, Japan's total vaccination rate for the population is like 66%. That includes children who are not, eligible for the whole population, 66% fully vaccinated. So one of the highest rates in the world, definitely higher than the United States, and I think now higher than the UK as well. So you're really starting to see the effective vaccinations and then people wearing masks.
So hopefully that will all translate into Japan opening up to vaccinated students as well, and hopefully our students will be able to physically join. Now, Ridita Ridi asked, "Can I apply to MEXT through iCLA, the MEXT scholarships?"
You can nominate us as a university you want to study at through the MEXT application. I will say it's a tough process. A very tough process, many people applying. So that's why we have our scholarship. Maybe I can just share that screen again, if it'll let me.
Oh, we can.
Here we go.
We can have a go.
So we have our scholarship. So 4 tiers of it, 25, 50, 75, 100% waiver of the tuition, facility, and equipment fees. So based on 3 things, your grades, your scholarship, essay, extracurricular achievement, family's financial need, also your interview performance as well.
That's great, because it's a holistic application. So, whoever is watching, it is not, it's based on your academic results, English scores, essays, interviews. So they'll take all of that into consideration. Now, this question, I think Maksuda can answer. This is from Bijoy Sultana, and she's asking, can I apply now? I have my A2 in May. What should I do? Maksuda, perhaps you can answer.
Yes, she can apply with her predicted grades for with her after completing AS. Generally, schools populated the predicted grades, and she can apply actually.
So Bijoy, tomar, once you've finished your AS, You can get your academic transcripts from school along with the predicted grades for A levels. And then, of course, you're very highly encouraged to give your IELTS and all of that. And then you can apply for the September. So you're giving your exams in May 2022. So you're going to get your results in August. So you're going to apply for the fall session of 2022. And the deadline for that, I believe, is April or May, right, Daniel?
Yeah, so our first deadline for September is April 18th, 2022.
And I would like to add here, iCLA also accepts Duolingo. So in that case, if she is not interested to appear for the IELTS exam, she can apply with her Duolingo test.
So the advantage of Duolingo is you can do it sitting at home, and it's much quicker. You get the results, I think, immediately, and it costs much less as well. I think IELTS costs
it's a $49 US.
Yeah. So
Actually,
so it's 1/3.
If she's doing A levels at international school, she can use the English results from that. She doesn't even need to take IELTS.
Okay, so you can do your O-level English results. So O-level English results is what I'm guessing, right?
Also, okay, yeah. Just to confirm again, if they have GCE, if they have A-level English or AS level English, they can use either of those, or even O-level, they can use Cambridge O-level, they can use those results as well. Yeah.
Awesome. So Sam Tassin asked a difficult question, but I guess it's an important and very relevant one. Where the alumni are working, what type of jobs can I get after graduation? Is it easy to get a job in Japan?
Yeah. Our graduates are working in many different fields, from finance through to hotel management, through, some are working as professional artists, some are working as graphic designers, some working as audio engineers, working as company employees in Japanese corporations, and also startups in Tokyo. So it really depends on where you focused your studies during the degree as to where you end up. Yeah. So is it easy
to get a job?
Depends, again, like how much Japanese you studied while you were studying here. Although with a lot of IT jobs in particular, you don't need so much Japanese. So
Sam, to answer, I'll just talk about it a little bit, because I'm very passionate about this particular subject. So by now, we've been working with Japanese universities since 2011. So it's our 10th year working and recruiting students for Japan, and we have sent more than 1,000. And the good news is that on an average, each of our students manage to get 3 to 5 job offers before they graduate. So basically, there are a few things you have to understand. One is, if you want to work in Japan, probably Japanese language is going to be important for you. So you're going to need to learn Japanese. Now, university like iCLA offers it as an option. So you can take the Japanese, and it's not easy, it's a new language, but if you can take that Japanese language through to N2 or N1 level, which is like the highest level you can get, then getting a job is not a problem. And Japan currently has a problem, which is there is a population issue where the elderly are retiring, but there's not enough young people to come and take those jobs. So, but in order to take those jobs, you're going to need to learn a bit of Japanese. So as long as you can get that down, getting a job is not an issue. So we have seen, like, our students can get a lot of jobs, and good jobs. I mean, they're one of the highest paid. There is actually a slide that I have where this is a study done by HSBC back in 2014, where on an average, students make the highest. People who work in Tokyo have the highest starting salary compared to any other country or city in the world, except for New York. Now, of course, we know, New York, getting a job in New York is not that easy, especially if you go to US. For international students, the H1 system, going through the lottery, it's a lot of stress. I've got a lot of students who graduated from the US and struggling to get a job, and then they have to apply somewhere else for their master's. So, this is something to keep in mind. Because, when we talk about students, why do Bangladeshi students, amra keno bideshe jete chai? I'm going to jump in a little bit, Bangla, Daniel, I hope you don't mind. আমরা কেন পড়তে যেতে চাই? বেসিক্যালি আমাদের কয়েকটা গোল থাকে। একটা হলো যে we want a good quality education, obviously. আমরা ভালো একটা এডুকেশন চাই। সেকেন্ডলি, আমরা নিজেদেরকে হয়তো মানে যদি আমরা বিদেশে পড়তে যাই, তো we want to probably look at settling down in a safe environment, get immigration and all of that. Third is, we want to experience other cultures. We want to study with other international students, because in today's world, it's a global world. You cannot be boxed in. And if you study in Bangladesh, you're studying only with Bangladeshi students. When you study in somewhere like iCLA, where 60% of the students are from all over the world, you can experience truly a multicultural kind of environment, which you can then use for your job or whatever, for your career. So good quality education, if you look at the quality of education index, Japan ranks #1 in the whole of Asia. And I think in the whole of the world, it is ranked in the top 4 or 5. So quality of education, you're pretty much guaranteed. The multicultural experience. I must tell you one thing. When we go to so I was an international student myself. I studied in the US. I graduated in 2001, so almost 20 years ago. And, so I had a great time in the US, but there were a lot of things that are different. I personally faced some amount of racism, some this thing and that thing, and it can happen to anybody anywhere. But one thing I was really surprised is in Japan, I did not really find that differentiation. I mean, students are getting the jobs, they're excelling, they're doing very well. Sometimes there are cultural, maybe misunderstandings, I can say that, and sometimes that can be categorized into racism, but actually it is really open. And I'll tell you, when I go to Japan, I mean, obviously I don't speak the language. So when you get around, you have to ask people for help. And every time I asked people for help, there were people that were going out of the, like, for example, once I was looking for a bus stop. So I asked somebody, how do I go to this place? That person was waiting for his own bus. He left that, came to me, to my bus stop, waited till I got on the bus, and then he left. And I was so embarrassed because, I was, I don't know, maybe you can share. I'm sure you have had similar experiences. It's really odd that somebody would go out of their way so much to help a complete stranger, somebody especially with this color. This is something that I really appreciate. So when students go, they really, truly have a great time because they find a welcoming, environment where people are actually, embracing them for their diversity, not because, or looking badly against it. So, they're actually, people are curious to know about the culture and everything. So that is something I must say, because those are all things we don't think about when we think about studying abroad. We don't think about those aspects. We think about, I want to go to Canada because Canada is here. I want to go to, but these are real experiences that students can enjoy when they go to Japan. And getting 3 to 5 job offers in this environment is not easy. I can tell you, it has never been. I mean, in the US, you have to look for companies that will sponsor your H1, and that too. Then once they sponsor you, you have to go through a lottery system. In the UK, until very recently, they didn't have any post-study work, but of course they have post-study work now. But then in order to convert it into a permanent residency or a tier 2 visa, it's a struggle because, you have to there are some conditions you have to meet. In Canada, you have to graduate. It's very expensive. On an average, it costs anywhere between, $30,000 or $25,000 to, $70,000 in some universities like Waterloo. So it's quite expensive. And of course, when you pay for that, of course, once you graduate, you're going to get the 3-year work permit, and then you can apply for PR. So there's a lot of things to think about. And Japan is not for everybody, I must say, because it is a different culture. It's a culture that is completely different from anywhere else one would be. But if you can keep an open mind, and if you want to have that experience of a great education, I think iCLA can be a wonderful conduit for that life. That Alum, you were an international student in Japan, right?
Yes, that's right.
And when did you graduate?
Well, I graduated in 2013.
2013. So,
Yes.
that's been about 7-8 years now. And
That's
so
right.
was it difficult for you to get a job in Japan?
No, actually, that's why I was, I was laughing and stuff, because most of the things that you said, kind of, what I like, how to say it. If I was in Bangladesh, for example, right now, I wouldn't believe, that someone can get 3 to 5 jobs before graduating. But that's really what happens here. I mean, including me, other Bangladeshi students at that university at that time. We had similar situation. We had to choose which one to go for. And then you talked about people here, like spot on. They're like unbelievably polite. They and very, very helpful. So it's actually a great place. And as you said again, it's not very known, I think, to most of the world. Like, in Bangladesh, people don't know about Japan that much. But it's actually a great opportunity for anyone from Bangladesh.
That is wonderful. Actually, basically, he's just reinforcing everything that our students have experienced, and I personally experienced during my travels. So it is a great place, and as you said, getting a job in Bangladesh once you graduate, that is very. I have a very small company. It's a very small company. We are in education consultancy. It's a Bangladeshi company. Our pay is quite good, but people don't know that. I mean, it's a again, a small Bangladeshi company. I was recruiting 3 people. I think this was a couple of years ago, and I put an ad out in BD Jobs, which is a website here, and I got 8,000 applications for those 3 jobs. Now, how am I supposed to even look at 8,000 CVs? So there is a huge need for people are looking for jobs, getting a jobs, and also the starting salary is sometimes quite low. So this is also something that you think about. Now I'm going to talk about if you want to apply to iCLA. Of course, there are the next session is April. Maxida, do you want to take us through the process, the deadlines, and what they should be doing?
To apply, we need all academic documents, like for national curriculum, we need the SSC HSC certificate and transcript. And for O-levels, A-level students, we need O-levels certificate and transcript. And AS, if they're not completed their A2 or full A-levels, then we can apply with the predicted grades. Besides that, they have to write down 2 essays, and we also need the English proficiency score, the passport, and 2 referee details, basically. While placing the application, we will submit the referee details like name, phone number, email address, and the university will directly contact for the recommendation later. And there is an application fee of 7,000 yen.
Wonderful. So that what is the deadline for
So
this?
for there is a still time for April intake. The deadline will close in the due date is November 22, I guess.
So we have
And
about a month left. So if you're
Yeah.
yes,
interested in going in April, if you've got your A-level results, you've done your HSC this year, there is still time to apply a whole month. And if you don't have the IELTS, usually that's the one that's the sticking point. You can always give Duolingo. And if you're from O-levels, A-levels, you don't even need that. You can directly apply with that. So we
yes,
would
and
strongly recommend you apply.
the result should be A to C.
Yes, O-level English with results A to C. So that would cover the points needed for you to get admission into that. So if you don't have C's and if you have D's, you're gonna have to go with a Duolingo for that. So it's always a pleasure to speak with Daniel, and now we're meeting our new friend Alum. So. Thank you so much for taking your time to speak with our students, and of course this will stay here in perpetuity, so people can log in to Facebook later on, whoever, and we will do some active promotions for that as well. So thank you so much, and those of you who have tuned in, thank you so much, and thank you so much for asking those questions. I'll tell you one thing, the liberal arts. The liberal arts program is a really, I think, this is what will create the leaders of tomorrow, because they're not studying a particular or specialized in a particular area, but they're concentrating on things that they're personally interested about. And that is something I think that is really special and unique. I know for one thing, I've encouraged my children to apply for liberal arts colleges. So that is something to look at. I'm sorry, Daniel, because I thought I was going to say goodbye, but there is another question which I think is relevant.
That's
I'd like
excellent.
to know more about the data science electives. How will this be offered, and within which program will students get this electives? Yeah.
That's a fantastic question. Just to touch on your point there, Ruham, just have a look at how many CEOs, YouTube, Disney, senior executives of major Fortune 500 companies have graduated from liberal arts colleges. How many, US Supreme Court justices did liberal arts before they went on to do law, for example. So it is, it gives you a very broad perspective. It allows you to approach problems from many different standpoints, and therefore you make better career choices, you make better investment decisions, and you end up earning more money. And you see that for a lot of the research as well. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Now, data science. Any of the majors, students can take those courses. In particular, it's obviously a very great combination to go with global business and economics, in particular the finance kind of stream or pathway that we have within that. Also very relevant for political science, but you might be studying interdisciplinary arts or Japan studies and find it'd be a great combination for those as well. So this is the key word in this degree is flexibility, a bit of freedom. You can craft your degree. Up to 40% of your credits can come from outside of your major. So you could definitely do all of those and treat it like a minor, and do your major as well, and have room left over to maybe take some psychology courses or some sociology courses, some arts, whatever interests you. That's one of the great things about this degree.
Awesome. Wonderful. So that brings, I think, it to a close. We will be coming back on a regular basis, and we will be talking to you guys again and again, and bringing our wonderful partners. Once again, thank you, Alum. Thank you, Daniel, for being with us, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon enough, and our students will reach out and reach iCLA and have their great experiences. So can't wait for that. If you want to apply, you can send us a message on Facebook. You can email us. Our email address is mail at macesbd.com, mail@macesbd.com. You can call us at 017-5566-0012 to make an appointment with one of our counselors. And we have an office in Gulshan, we have an office in Dhanmondi, and pretty soon we'll be opening some new offices as well. So we're really excited for that, and hopefully we'll see you there. Take care.
Thank you.